Okay, here we go. Today, moves were made or not made in some aspects of it with the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman, and the big thing was we did not get Tevin Coleman as he ends up going to the 49ers for 2 years, $10 million, and you just take a look at that contract and say, how did we not pick him up? How was Howie not there and not ready to make an offer better than that? Understanding our need at running back, that's a little concerning to me. I know he's not the last running back ever to choose from here, and I get that there's a draft, but this was a really nice piece to pick up. He's very valuable. He fits our needs. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can make people miss. He can run to the outside. He would have definitely helped this football team. And to look at his contract, really, 2 years, 10 mil, I don't understand the logic on not going out and grabbing this guy. I just don't see it. That frustrates me. On top of keeping Nelson Agholor for 9.4. I question it. I get it. He wants to give Carson Wentz all these weapons, and he proved himself from what he was the first couple seasons when he was dropping passes all the time. But Nelson Agholor, are you really almost paying this guy $10 million? I mean, I like the kid. He's a good, hardworking, a humble kid, but $10 million to play that slot position right now, I just don't know if he's worth all that money. And if that's the reason why we're not going out and being able to grab guys like Coleman, that bothers me. That bothers me. So taking a look at this running back core, what do we do? What are our options right now? I know the draft is a possibility. I know Howard. Everyone talks about Howard. Does it really move the needle? He's very one-dimensional. He's a one-dimensional back. He doesn't really catch the ball out of the backfield too much. It's when he's in the game, don't you think defenses know it's either just going to be a regular play action or a run? He's no threat. Today in the NFL, you need to be versatile as a running back. I just don't know how much I love it. It would be the same as this Jay Ajayi thing. Everyone keeps talking about Jay Ajayi. Maybe he comes back for a prove-it deal, and I'm all cool for that. If there's other options, like I don't want Jay Ajayi to be the number one guy, or I don't want Howard to come in and be the top guy. That's like a nice third back option. Realistically, Jay Ajayi can't stay healthy. I don't want him to be near the top of what we really need to hope and pray for. Those are third options in the rotation. We need to go out and get legitimate backs. So the fact that we let Tevin Coleman go to the 49ers on such a small deal, the fact that Le'Veon Bell was kind of reachable, he really was, it bothers me that we're not going out and grabbing these guys that would help the team when their contracts really aren't anything overwhelming. Also, Ronald Darby, some news, maybe the Chiefs, he's really testing some teams right now. We also miss out on Mark Ingram, which I never really thought that he was going to actually be here with the Eagles, but he goes to Baltimore. I just take a look at this offseason so far, and I know it's not done yet, and I understand that there's still moves to be made, and I get that there's a draft that we can go get a running back. I get all that. I really do. But I really am. It's an odd feeling for me, because this is a time where I do feel a little weird with Howie so far this offseason. And I never really had this feeling in a really long time. This is the first time in a while where I say, we let Coleman slip. The Michael Bennett situation was kind of We're paying Nelson Agholor a ton of money to do his job. Like a ton. Almost $10 million. Ton of money. I get it, he brings in Deshaun. I'm not saying he's doing a horrendous job. I think he's done decent. There's just a couple little things that I'm scratching my head at. That's all. So definitely in the comment section, I need to know your thoughts on Nelson Agholor getting paid $10 million, essentially, 9.4. I want to know your thoughts on letting Coleman go for such a cheap deal. I'm not saying that this guy's a stud, future Hall of Famer. I get it. But he's a nice piece where we have a big-time hole. He's a nice piece and probably the best addition we could have made in regards to the free agency moves. So what do you want to do now? Do we bring back Jay Ajayi? Do you want Howard? What about Darren Sproles? What's the situation on him? Originally, I was all down on it and say, no, this is the last season. But then he played the back stretch, and I thought about it. Why not? Would it hurt? Absolutely not. I would bring Darren Sproles back. He's had some freak injuries over the last, a couple seasons and all, but it's not been a story of his career like, say, Jordan Hicks. I'd give him another shot. Obviously, he understands our situation with the cap, so that plays a factor. I mean, I do trust Howie, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and crush the man and say he's the worst JM ever. What's he doing? No, it's not to that extreme, but a couple of head scratchers, that's all. I'm just used to him almost being perfect. And, you know, I'm curious to see where this direction is going, because sometimes when things don't happen the way you expect it, you can still see the future. You can still see the direction the team is going with. But right now, I don't know where that's going. I don't see the path. The path is still covered with leaves and snow and all kinds of things. I can't see the path. So that's where I'm at. I think everyone knows, the fan base, the upper management, I think everybody understands right now that there are some gaps, especially with the running back. I just think if we can really find a way to grab some legitimate players in the running back core, talking about Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Nelson Agholor, even though he's getting overpaid, Alshon. I love Alshon. Thinking about that crew with the running back core that people really have to respect, where we're not running Wendell Smallwood and Adams, with all due respect, and we have a little bit better of an upgrade there. That's a scary offense. That's a scary offense. I want someone who's a threat out of the backfield, not only just running the ball. I want someone who can catch out of the backfield. That's what makes you so dangerous as an offense. Now, I would think in the draft, maybe in the second round, we do attack that running back need. And we need to see, you know, what running back we land. Everyone mentions Jacobs, obviously. He was a beast last year. Everyone, you know, mentions the big-time names. Are they still going to be available? We're going to have to obviously wait and see how the draft plays out. I still think in the first round they're attacking some sort of defensive tackle, just from understanding how deep and how strong that those players really are at the top of the draft. But that's the only thing that makes sense to me at this point. I'm just spitballing off the top of my head, but say you do bring Ajayi back. You do draft a running back. Now you got your drafted running back, Jay Ajayi, Corey Clement, maybe Darren Sproles, maybe Adams. It's not terrible, but imagine that with the addition of Coleman. Now it's a little bit more scary. Imagine a Coleman, Jay Ajayi, Darren Sproles, and your drafted running back. And if you're taking him in the second round, yeah, he's probably going to be someone really productive. So that just seems like there's more substance to it. Just seems like there's a little bit more oomph when it comes to the power of the Eagles' backfield. But we let him get away. We let him get away. I thought the Le'Veon thing was very attractive. Once you saw the numbers, I thought that was probably doable and realistic. But I understand Howie not going that way, knowing that we need linebacker, maybe another corner if Darby leaves. Like, I get it. There's other holes. So I'm okay with the Le'Veon Bell thing, even though I wanted him. But I do take a look at that Coleman contract and say, really? We couldn't have done that? We couldn't have done that? Because it seems pretty realistic to me. It's a really cheap contract. And it's on the same day that you keep Agholor for almost 10. It's just a little different than we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing perfection. We're used to seeing greatness. And right now, it's like a B. We've been seeing A+ work. It's like when you're a good student, and say you're a professor. You're grading your paper, you see that one student consistently getting 100s, 95s, so consistently down the road, and then he throws in 86. And you're grading that paper, and you say, oh, well, that's different. I wonder why that is. That's where I'm at right now. That's how I see this. So down below, make sure you let me know. All these topics that we talked about today, I want to hear your thoughts. I really did think Coleman would have been a great fit. I thought he would have fit here perfectly, just considering what we need right now and how Doug Peterson utilizes that offense. It would have been great. It would have been great. His ability would have helped this team big time. And I was going to make a Doug Peterson joke there and say, well, I've seen him not run the ball at times and freak out, but I don't even want to go down that path. I don't want to go down that path. The distribution from the runs and passes. Oh, good times last year. Good times. That's where I was going to go there, but I said, you know what, let's not even touch it. Let's not even touch it. So let's keep our eyes, obviously, on Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport here and see what else the Eagles do throughout the rest of the offseason here. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.